Okay, let's start now. And actually, if you have to use Revit and BIM, maybe you want to find a more convenient solution for your generative design or computational design. So Dynamo will offer you these tools to achieve such purpose. And actually, Dynamo is a visual programming tools. And you can find that Dynamo, the website is this website, dynamobim.org. And I'm recording this video so you can refer the link later. And actually, Dynamo is not a new thing. It has been developed in the past few years. And right now, Autodesk has purchased Dynamo and embedded to Revit, Autodesk Revit. And once you have opened your Revit in the Manage tab, you will find that the Dynamo and Dynamo Payer is already there for you to use. And actually, Dynamo is also, it is compatible with Civil 3D or Format or Advanced Deals. All these are from Autodesk. And the version of Dynamo, you'll find that in our website, there are many versions or many different types of Dynamo here. Actually, you only need to know the bottom left corner, the Autodesk Revit. This is the version you need. And actually, it is already embedded in the Revit, so you don't need to download it again. But if you want to have the latest version of Dynamo, you may need to download it from the Dynamo website. And the latest version is version 2.2.0. And you may find that the Dynamo version 2.4 on the top left corner, which is a sandbox Dynamo or for other applications such as Civil 3D I've mentioned. And for the right-hand side, the Dynamo Studio. Dynamo Studio, which is a standalone software, and maybe you don't need to take a look of it because it is a little bit old or outdated. So this is our major focus today. And actually, according to my own experience, I found that Dynamo can help us to do these 5 or 6 goals. First of all, it's help you to automate some repetitive tasks in Revit, such as drawing, how to set the drawing registry, or you can simplify some complicated workflows within Revit or other applications. And next is to pursue the computational design and generative design in the beginning stage or the conceptual stage of the project. Next one is the data mining and analysis in Revit, because as you know that BIM, Building Information Modeling, actually BIM is a information hub, which include a lot of data. So you may make use of this data for further analysis. So Dynamo offers a very good tool for you to extract or input this data to Revit. It also can connect with Excel, Microsoft Excel. And the last one is integrated data and works among application. For example, if you have a bridge, you're building a bridge, you may want to use Civil 3D to build a bridge. However, if you want to build some E&M building services components, you may need to make use of Revit. So how do you import the Civil 3D model to Revit? Actually, in the past practice or the traditional practice, you just export a file or geometry and then import to Revit. But you cannot edit that geometry, so this is meaningless to you. But right now with Dynamo, we can just extract, or you can export the coordinate of this bridge in Excel format, and then just input this Excel to Dynamo, to Revit by Dynamo. So it will help you to regenerate the bridge model inside Revit. So you can do some opening or some editing works in Revit. Okay. And we are going to explore these 3 points in today's webinar. First of all, I have some students ask me how to download Autodesk Revit or Autodesk AutoCAD. Actually, if you are a student, you can enjoy our free educational license, and you can just download it from Autodesk website, and then you click to the educator section, and then you'll find that register your email, and you can download the Revit. And the latest Revit version is 2020. So once you have downloaded this Revit software, you click to the Manage tab on the top, and then you will find that there is a visual programming panel here with 2 icons. One is Dynamo, and the other one is Dynamo Player. Actually, Dynamo Player is that when you click on the Dynamo icon, it will pop up another user interface, which is for you to type or create some Dynamo script. However, you may not want to open Dynamo every time when you are running the script. So maybe after a period of time, you have collect a lot of Dynamo script. You have the library here, and then you just click the Dynamo Player. It will go to that Dynamo library, and then choose the script you want, and then to run, and then you can run the program immediately. So this is quite handy, the Dynamo Player. Okay, first of all, how does Dynamo help us to automate the repetitive task? So I have an example here. You see that in the Revit user interface, on the left-hand side, this is the project browser. Project browser, which is similar as a menu to show all your component or drawings or with a family structures here. And right now, when you start a project, you may need to set up all the drawings and numbers. We call it drawing registry. Actually, in real practice, you may have the Excel table to collect all this drawing information. And in the past, you may need to use very stupid method to type it one by one, or use some plugin. You have to buy it and then use that plugin in Revit to just import the Excel file or information to Revit. And right now, if you have Dynamo, you don't need to do it, because you can write your own script. This script is the Dynamo script, and it has about 10 notes. You see the gray button? The gray button is the notes. So from the workflow is from the left to the right, from left to right. And once it has processed this program, it will help you to generate all the drawings, number, and names inside your Revit project browser. So this is very handy. And the most important thing is you can reuse this script every time when you set up a project. So you can make sure your project is in a consistent style for your company. And the other example of dealing with repetitive tasks is the wall finish by room. Just imagine I have created this building, and this is one of the floors inside the project. And right now I have to paint the room. I have to paint the room, and maybe I have some meeting room, some director office, or assistant office, etc. And I've already set this room in my Revit schedule, room schedule. And also, I have set another schedule for different painting for different rooms. And maybe in the past, I have to do it manually. But right now, if I can create this Dynamo script with 4 notes, then I can do it immediately. Just let the computer to help you to finish all these donkey works. And what you may need is the Dynamo node. And I would like to introduce a very useful thing, is the package. Because maybe many of you are very new to Dynamo or Revit, and you don't know how to do it from scratch. Maybe you can study or get some information from YouTube or our Dynamo website or forum. But if you know how to use a Dynamo package is, here you see the website. Actually, we have 1,345 packages right now, which means different people in this world has written the script already and share and upload to our website for you to download. So you just need to download it, and you just need to select the right package and download it, and that's it. You see that in my script, the last one on the right-hand side, the wall finishes by room, which is a package. Node. So someone already write and packages into one node, and you can reuse this node or package later. So this is very useful, and it is free. And you see that the number, there are more than 2 million of installs, which means our Dynamo has already installed over 2 million times from the beginning to now. And we have more than 800 Dynamo script writers or authors in this world. And okay, so when you have finished your Dynamo script, you just store it into one single place, and then you click on the Dynamo player. You can run the script every time very quickly with this function. Okay, and the other useful goal of Dynamo is to simplify complicated workflows. So I have an example here, which is showing that to design the fire escape routes. In the past, you may need to do a lot of calculations, many try and errors. And right now, you can just use Dynamo. You have to set up some rules and tell that Dynamo to run it for you. And then it will help you to automatically generate the possible routes for the designer. Okay, another type of workflow that Dynamo can help us to simplify is the Revit and Navisworks connection. I'm not sure whether have you heard about Navisworks. Navisworks is another software which helps you to simplify or merge different Revit models together, and also help you to do some clash detection. And currently, in the current practice, when we have finished, for example, architect has finished the Revit models, structure and MEP team also have their models. They have to combine together and do a clash detection in Navisworks. And this is the Navisworks user interface. You found that there is a solver in the bottom, and there's a wall, green wall right on top. So when the clash analysis has been done, it may tell the user that, oh, there are clashes. The green and red items has clashed. And the trouble thing is, you have to go back to Revit and find this item and fix the clashes. However, if we use Dynamo, we just need to export the Navisworks clash data and then input it to Revit. And then you see the blue bubble on top of the solver. So the blue bubble indicates the clashes happen right there. So we can solve our clashes immediately because we can see it. We don't need to go back to our Navisworks clash report one by one. And this is the clashes Dynamo script. Will be a little bit complicated, but actually someone has been done for you. You can search it online from maybe some YouTube videos will do the similar thing. Okay. And other concept is the computational design, which can be done by Dynamo. So what is computational design? Computational design, which is somehow related to logic or math. So you see that helix right here. The helix layers depends on the lumber sliders on the left-hand side. So when you drag the lumber slider from left to right, its number increase. So the helix layer will increase at the same time. So it depends on some maths or logics. Another example is that when you have to create a curtain wall and you have to divide the panels, right? And when you have to divide the panels in a fixed curtain panel, you have to tell Revit models how, the X and Y and the rows and columns. This information is required. So when you have this logic, you can build a script in Dynamo, just like this screen, and then it will help you to divide the panels as you want. And also, you'll find that this script has applied the Lunchbox package. And once you have developed the appropriate panel design, you can use the adaptive component family. I'm not sure whether you're familiar with Revit family. Actually, this is a little bit more advanced skill for Revit. So because your panel may be in irregular shape, or you see that in this family, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 points. This is adaptive point. So it will host on the panel corners of these areas. So you don't need to manually adjust the corner for each panel. So Dynamo will help you to assign this adaptive family to the curtain wall automatically. Similar example. So you see this semi-sphere, just like our space museum. It has different types of panels with some with 4 points, some with 5 points, or some with 6 points. So you can see that the coordinate of every panels. There are 3 types of panels, and the coordinate of every panels is very different. So when you have to do it in traditional practice, you may need to point one by one, and this is not efficient and which is not accurate. If you can do it in a Dynamo script, you tell the maybe structural engineer already have the coordinates in mind, or they have the accurate information, just input it into Dynamo, and it will help you to assign the adaptive family one by one and create this final results. One more example. If you have a building, you want to play around the random panel design. So you may have this type of design, like this. What would you do in Revit if you don't use Dynamo? You may still need to assign it one by one, right? Or you can set up some family, but it is very annoying and it may take you a lot of time for try and error. So for me, I've created this Dynamo script to control different adaptive points, or adaptive points is the adaptive family coordinate. And then I tell Dynamo the logic of how to assign the panels. And once I've assigned the panels by Dynamo, I can also extract the panel schedule by Revit. So this is very handy and it is correct. Another example is this tower. So it could, the Dynamo script can work with different shapes of buildings. But I think that what you have to pay attention is the computational time of your program. Make sure you start from a small or tiny project first, because if your program has some bug or has some mistake, when it runs, if your model is very big, and then sorry. So I have to mute others. Okay. So when you have to run your script, try from a small model first. When it works, and then you can run from a big model. Okay. For the generative design, which is also a very hot topic in recent years. So what is generative design? Let's watch this video.
What if you could come up with thousands of options for a single design without drawing, all of which meet specific goals set by the designer? And from those options, pick the one design that delivers on the most important criteria, the design you couldn't possibly have imagined. This is generative design, a technology that harnesses massive computing power, creating forms with precise amounts of material only where needed, achieving maximum performance while wasting nothing. But generative design can be about much more than simply turning out alternatives. Prototypes can be scanned and equipped with sensors that provide real-time performance data that can be looped back into the design process, so the object, in effect, co-designs itself. And depending on the material and method of manufacture chosen, the software can optimize the design for those choices. In its search for the optimal design, generative design creates complex forms that would otherwise be impossible to make using traditional manufacturing methods. Now, with advancements in material science and the ability of 3D printers to print metal, companies like Airbus can create forms like this airplane partition panel that's half as light and just as strong. The result? Significant reduction in fuel costs and CO2 emissions. The things that have limited us in the past, software, materials, manufacturing, no longer do so. With generative design, the world can look and perform any way we want it to. This is the next stage in the evolution of design, and it's happening now.
Okay, so this is just a concept of generative design. Simply put, generative design is also done by computer, but the logic or the principle must be decided by human first. And then once we have decided the logic, the maths, the formula, and then we put it to Dynamo, the programming tools, and then this program can help you to generate all the possible solutions. And as a designer, you just need to pick the optimized options for you to use, for you to do the detailed design of your project. Okay. So some interesting examples I found. First of all, for manufacturing industry or for space industry. So this spider is from NASA, the USA NASA. They want to develop a device to explore the planet Mars. And then this is the final creation. To design this device, this robot, they have to use the lightest materials. But this design must fulfill the strengths and structural requirements that can survive in Mars. So it has used our Fusion 360 plus generative design to generate these final products. Another example is some racing car. This racing car also decided by generative design. Maybe some designer has never thought of this type of irregular shape design can survive, can run in deserts. Okay. And this is the example which shown in the video. Is the airplane, the panel. And as I know that they have used the 3D printing to print this product. This is metal 3D printing skill. Okay. So for our AEC industry, we also have the generative design workflow. So you can take a look of this diagram. From the left-hand side is the traditional design method. So we may use AutoCAD, and right now we have transformed our workflow from 2D CAD drawing to BIM. And BIM, we can use Revit to do it. And actually, we think that only have the Revit model, the 3D BIM model is not enough. So we have developed the visual programming tool like Dynamo to help us to quickly explore the model by different type of formula or maths. And more advanced, we have the Project Refinery. This is the beta software or the solution of Autodesk. We can just input our Dynamo script to this Project Refinery beta version, and then it will help us to generate all the possible design options. I'll show you more later on. And in the future, as we all know that the government has talked about AI, smart city, big data, IoT. So in the next stage, we'll move to the AI field, and more machine learning algorithm or tools will be launched later. And this is the Project Refinery. You may need to register for Project Refinery first in this website, and then you can use it with your Dynamo. Some example here. Some examples here that use generative design is our Toronto office. And in our Autodesk Toronto office, we have 3 floors in this tower. And we would like to redesign the space for our employees. And you can see that the designers has already get all the information of this project, such as the area and rooms inside this project and how many people and team. We have 250 Autodesk employees working in this Toronto office. So we have distributed a questionnaire to our employees to see that which elements are most important to them in this design. And we found out that these 6 areas are the most important points, such as work style and daylight and no distraction, etc. And based on these 6 sections, we have created the logics, and we have also generated thousands of design options. And then we found that one of the options which can fulfill all these 6 areas in the best way. And then after this design has been selected, our designer can further develop on this option. So you can take a look of this video, and this is our generative design expertise.
Step number 5 is the kind of true magic of using the computer to help solve this problem, and it's basically automation. So here we're using the computer to generate, evaluate, and evolve literally 10,000 different design options for this office space. Each design option is defined by a point here, and you see them kind of generating over time. And the great thing about these data points is that we know exactly what input parameters were used to create each point, and we know exactly how each data point or each design option performs according to the 6 goals that we've defined for the system.
Okay, so this is just a quick review of this project. And the workflow is like this. So you can set up some principle to generate different options, and then you evaluate whether this option can fulfill the different fields. And then you can just evolve or further develop your script if it is not perfect enough. And just continue this loop until you find the best solution and do the further design. Another example is for the urban design in Netherlands. So this project, you can see the site layout here on the right corner, right side. And then we have set up some rules and logic for it. And then our data scientists, not data, it's the research scientists, help them to classify the best results based on the, remember is the environmental factors such as solar and whether the density of the house is good enough. Another real example is the floor paving. Let me skip some point first. So this study is done by me, and imagine I have a floor or an area I need to fulfill all the tiles to do the floor paving. So how can I calculate or identify how many complete tiles will be used and how many tiles will be cut? So it is difficult for you to calculate in Revit. So we can use Dynamo help us to solve this problem. First of all, I have to set some scripts such as you see the green, red, and blue, orange sections. And then I have some input such as how many rows I would require for this area and how large of the tile. And then afterwards, I can generate, this is the version 1 output. However, when I change the input such as the rows, I mean have 10 rows, from 10 rows and change to 25 rows, then I have to change the tile size, and then the result may be different. And I just input that Dynamo script into Project Refinery, and it will help us to identify or calculate different results based on my parameter. Those parameter is the vertical lines on the top area. You see that I have the tile length, tile pieces, row, odd row or even row, and then tile width, number of rows, etc., and number of long cut tiles. And you see the blue lines. The blue line is when in one single design, they have the blue line is the attributes, connecting the attributes, then form up the final design output, and it will show in the bottom area, or it will be displayed in this style. So the workflow is that when you use Revit in beginning, and then you can set up some rules in Dynamo. Maybe you have a very simple lines or the boundaries in Revit, and then you just click on that boundaries and then input it to Dynamo. And once you set the script and logic in Dynamo, the result will be run and then go back to Revit immediately. However, maybe each time you set the input, it will only have one result to be shown. However, if you want to do a lot of or all possible design options, you have to use generative design. And then you just input, you just go to Project Refinery and input this Dynamo script to Project Refinery and then run it. And then once you have run the Project Refinery, it will show you all the results in Project Refinery interface. And then you can click one of the options in the Project Refinery, and then it will show the result in Dynamo and Revit. So this is the workflow. And this script can also apply to different projects. So this is your digital asset. You can reuse and refine it again and again, like this. Okay. For more details or more Dynamo script information or videos or tutorials, you can go to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is HKBIM, and then you can search or search KOP. You'll find about 65 videos there. And I'll do more videos later on for Revit, Dynamo, and BIM 360. Okay, so this is the basic introduction of Dynamo. Anyone have questions? QR code. Wait. This QR code. YouTube channel. Maybe I can share you some. How do you learn Dynamo? Okay. Actually, you have to start from a very small pieces of model and very simple scenario first. And hold on. Let me share you my screen with Revit. Okay, so everyone can see that my screen with Revit. Okay, so this is Revit, and then you just click to the Manage tab here, and then go to the Dynamo. Just hold on maybe 10 or 20 seconds. It depends on your computer power. So if you just install Revit recently, you have some introduction just like mine, because I just installed 2020 to this computer. So this user interface is the Dynamo interface. And then you click on the new. Usually when I work in Revit and Dynamo, I just use 2 monitors to do the task, because it will be more convenient. But right now, I just put it in one single screen. So inside this Dynamo, maybe I do some quick introduction of this interface. This white area is the working space. And right now, you cannot navigate this space because it is fixed. And in this graph wheel, and when you change it by this 3D wheel, you will find that when you click on your mouse right hand button, and then it can navigate. But right now it has nothing because we have done nothing on the script yet. And on the left side is the Dynamo library. You'll find that basically you have this dictionary to the string category. And when you click on the Revit, you have a lot of subcategories. And when you click on it, it has different notes. But when you click on it, why nothing happened? Because you are in the 3D wheel. You have to go back to this graph wheel and then zoom in. You'll find that a lot of looks already here. When you select all of them and delete. So you can also make use of all other category, not only Revit. For now, I just do a quick demo. Let me create some items here. With some walls. So in the world of Revit, each element, for example, this wall has its own properties and element ID. I'm not sure whether you know the element ID. It's just like our HKID. Hong Kong people have Hong Kong ID, right? So in Revit, it has element ID. It can be checked in here. For example, I select this wall. And then you find that I have the ID of selections. Well, it is so small. It is 345453. Is this element ID? And if I click on different wall, now so okay. So I can also select the Dynamo node by typing it, selection. So you'll find that all of the options related to the selection is here. You select model elements, okay. When you click on this blue link, it will help you to go, oh, this is the Revit, and this is the subcategory selection, and then I've just chosen this because be aware of this select model elements with S and no S. If I click on this, select, and what will happen? Actually, you will find that you have to go back to Revit and then select the items. And immediately, because right now I have chosen the automatic operation in Dynamo. If for a small program or simple program in Dynamo, you can use automatic, but you're working on a very complicated program, I'll suggest you to use manual. And then once you have written all the script, you can click on one. But right now it is very simple, just we can use automatic. So it had directly run this program, and then all the element ID has been shown here. If you don't like this style of showing the element ID, you can also use the watch. And then you just drag this connector to another port. It will show you all this category you have selected in this diagram, which is a wall. For example, if I create different items, such as maybe I create some door. Yeah. And then right now I want to reselect again. You just click on select and then click again. You'll find that Dynamo and Revit, they synchronize immediately. Okay, so it will tell you that you are selecting this category, this door, with this family type. So this is the quick demo of the operation of Revit and Dynamo. Okay, someone has questions. Project Refinery, when creating a function. Very good. Someone has asked me whether to call with an API in Python script. Oh, some of you have knowledge in Python script is very good, because I've mentioned machine learning and AI, and this is most likely would be related to Python. Actually, Dynamo have Python function. You see that inside this script, this category, we have this editor and we have Python script. And actually, it is the IM Python, as I know that. When you click on it, it will show you this box for you to write your script here. So you have to import. This is the default operation of the Python script in Dynamo. And then you have to check the Revit library, which one you want to use in order to control the Revit by the Python script inside the Dynamo. And because all this script written here can be run in the Project Refinery, so you will find that if you have registered the Project Refinery I've shown you, you will see that you will get the new installation, the refinery, and then you just launch the refinery. You must save the workspace. Okay, save it once. We check, save it. Also, you can find this when you have registered and installed the refinery, you'll find there is a new category named refinery here in the library. And there's the node named remember. Because right now, Dynamo and refinery does not have a very straightforward data transformation. It depends heavily on this data remember node. So remember, every time when you have written some section of your Dynamo script, you have to put this data.remember node in the end of your script every section. Otherwise, it will lose the data or the logic inside the refinery, and it does not work. Okay. Okay, this is the refinery. It will open another user interface, and inside this new interface, you'll find that there's a new study. You just click on it, and then select the boundary of your refinery test, such as how many inputs. Because right now, my Dynamo script does not have the inputs, outputs, settings, issues, etc. maybe I open another script that I've used before. Hold on. Let me check whether it works. To check your Revit version, not Revit version, sorry, it's the Dynamo version. You can go to help about 2.1.0 because previously I tried it Refinery. It requests me to use the Dynamo 2.0.2, and right now maybe my version is too new for Refinery, so it may not work. But anyway, let me try it first. Okay, it works. So you will find that the inputs, actually this input parameters, they come from my Dynamo script. Let me close it. Oh, this is the version problem. So to play safe, we better use the 2.0.2 Dynamo version to run the the project refinery. And let me check the input first. Actually, those input are these items. These items. And the outputs or the settings. The setting is the pool or the how many samples or the final output you want to have. So you can set it here. And then before you run the refinery program, you must fix the issues. And then it will stay the issues here. Otherwise, it will not work. So to go back to the previous version of Dynamo, you have to go to our website first. And then Dynamo. When you go to the Dynamo page, and then you can go to the Dynamo Revit, and then check install a Dynamo build. You will find that all the Dynamo version is here. So you can find that maybe this version. And don't worry about it, because when you go to the project refinery, you just search it in Google or different website engine. Just click on it. When you have registered our beta version of project refinery, it will have a lot of a very detailed guidelines to tell you what to do and what to install to make sure the refinery works. So you just go back here to download the version, and once you have downloaded the other version of Dynamo, you may ask whether Revit will override or our computer will override our Dynamo version. Actually, no. because when you launch your Dynamo every time, it will ask you, Revit will ask you which version you would like to use. Then you can choose the version you would like to use for your project. Okay, so any question? So, okay, if you have any question in this webinar or Dynamo, you can always contact Shelly, and then we will try our best to help you. So that's all for today's webinar. Thank you.